Despite being in my 40s, I try to be a modern guy. I like to keep up with what's current in the world. And I know I've said this before, but although I can get my head around most things, the non-binary issue, that eludes me. I understand that there are effeminate men and more masculine women, and that sometimes we don't feel that comfortable in our own body. Isn't that just part of the human experience, something that changes and fluctuates over time? And I find it hard to believe that there are people out there who don't think they're male or female, who think they're both and or neither. Because if that's you, if you're not sure what you are, next time you have a shower, before you get dressed, have a look in the mirror. That should inform you with all you need to know. Now, at the risk of sounding like a cynical bastard, I suspect 9 out of 10 people who say they're non-binary are doing so for a combination of narcissistic attention seeking, look at me, I'm so fucking special, and trying not to appear as an oppressor. Because I've noticed a remarkable number of non-binary people are white. And we know the woke left love to bang on about privilege. Now, I have the full set. I'm a straight white male and I'm also cisgendered. I fucking hate that term. And that, of course, means that I am the devil incarnate. But if I wanted to be more approachable, less of an oppressor, I could say, no, I'm not cisgendered, I'm non-binary. That means then I'm not the devil anymore, and also it allows me to be something very important and very fashionable in the modern world. It allows me to be a victim. Also, if you say you're non-binary, there's a good chance you'll land a role with the BBC or Netflix. Of course, people can identify as whatever they want, but when I hear someone say I identify as, in my head I hear I'm pretending to be, because I can identify as a 16th century cottage in the Lake District, offering unparalleled views of Lake Windermere. And that's absolutely fine, until I start demanding other people address me thus, or asking for money so I can be rethatched. Today, we're going to meet 2 non-binary people, and remarkably, this first one is the saner of the 2.
So, I'm agender, I don't have a gender. I'm not a girl, not a boy, whatever. And, no, I don't expect you to know that right off the bat. I mean, I'd love it if people didn't assume gender, but if you look at me and think that's a woman, okay, here's where the problem comes in. If I then tell you, because you're like, oh, hey, lady, or Mrs., or whatever, and I'm like, oh, actually, I'm not a lady, I'm not a woman, I'm non-binary, I use they, them pronouns. If after that intervention, you're like weird, or transphobic, NB-phobic, just ignorant, and kind of lazy, and just purposefully being obtuse for no reason, like, then we have a problem. You don't have to know what my gender is, but when I share it, you better respect it, you better honor it, you better use my pronouns, or you're out of my life. And like, it's a privilege to be in my life. I don't think transphobes understand that.
She, because I don't play the pronouns game, she starts off quite well. She knows that not everyone will know her gender identity. And we can all see it's a woman. I know there are some people who say, well, sex and gender aren't the same thing. And to those people, I say, button it. That's a woman with a fucking stupid haircut. Why do all the non-binary types look like that? Look like the anonymous villains who get beaten up by Batman. But very quickly, things become nonsensical. Where she mentions people being transphobic or NB-phobic, non-binary phobic, because she can't be trans and non-binary. Trans just means opposite, so someone who is transgender, as we know, identifies as the opposite gender to which they were born, and to be non-binary is to not be part of the gender binary. So to be trans non-binary is to be opposite non-binary, thus meaning she's part of the binary. Which, when we scrape away the delusion, of course she fucking is. And if someone doesn't use her preferred pronouns, they, them, then said person cannot be part of her life, and it's a privilege to be part of her life. If she was any more up her own arsehole, she'd be in danger of turning inside out. And once again, to me, this sounds like someone who's got arrested development. She's acting like a toddler, because the subtext, I think, goes something like this. It's my ball, and if you don't let me win, then you can't play. But that's a non-binary person talking about meeting a stranger. Imagine being married to one of them.
Hey, so we're having a real debate right here. I am non-binary. I am a non-binary woman. I have a vagina owner. And my husband tells me consistently that he is a cis man that likes vagina. And that's how he identifies, as a straight cis man. I find it offensive that my husband sees himself as straight when he's married to someone who is non-binary. I'm not a woman, so you're not straight. You're actually queer. And he won't acknowledge that. He won't give me the acceptance of, yes, I understand we are a queer marriage and I am inherently queer because I am attracted to all vagina owners, not just girls.
If I could get round the copyright, I would have Ozzy Osbourne screaming all aboard, because make no mistake, we are now on the crazy train. Right at the start of that clip, she makes the statement, I have a vagina owner. Not I have a vagina or I am a vagina owner. She has a vagina owner. Love, do you not own your own box? Are you leasing it or something? I don't know, but you can get most things on Amazon these days. And her opening gambit is that she is a non-binary woman. Yet less than a minute later, she's contradicted herself by saying she's not a woman. So her main issue is that because she's non-binary, in her mind, her husband cannot be straight. My first question would be, how long has she been non-binary? Was she non-binary when they got married, or is this something much more recent, for a bit of attention? I'm guessing the latter. Now, she can call herself non-binary all she wants, but the fact of it is she's still a woman, and I'm guessing that's what her husband is attracted to. If I were in the same situation, by now I'd be her ex-husband. But using her, for want of a better word, logic, that because she's non-binary, her husband cannot be straight. This woman here is Lizzie Hale, the lead singer and rhythm guitarist in the rock band Hailstorm. I think she's fucking gorgeous. Lizzie is openly bisexual. Does that mean for me to fancy her, I also have to be bisexual? Or maybe I'm a lesbian? The long and the short of it is her husband's straight and she's fucking mental. At the start of this video, I said I think most non-binary people do so for a combination of attention seeking and false victimhood, as it were, and I think that's what's going on here. The wife is so desperate to tell everyone she's non-binary, her husband's queer, and they've got a queer marriage. Aren't I interesting? And I cut that clip short. She mumbles on incoherently for another minute or so, alleging that her husband is hurting the LGBTQIA+ community. How? When did a man marrying a woman become a hate crime? So, to those two non-binary women we've seen, and to anyone who thinks it's okay to act in that manner, from the rest of the world, please fucking grow up. Everyone else, as ever, thanks for watching. There's a certain... fuck it. It's a bit slippery. We've had a tiny bit of snow. British people will be on social media saying, I survived the blizzard of 2024. Believe that in later fucked it up. Honestly meant to take seriously the... are free to identify... fuck it. Say, I'm non-binary, my husband's queer, we have a queer... That's fuck the continuity. Switch off, you prick.